Welcome to a new episode of Outside the Panels with your host, Johnny the Machine Hughes.
To an episode of Outside the Panels. I'm your host, Johnny the Machine Hughes, and joining me this week is one of my favorite creators of ever. This gentleman is a fellow Brit, creates fantastic art, writes great stories, and it's the third time he's been on the show. So I think he needs a hat-trick ball or something for that. It is Mr. Des Pop Taylor. Des, how's it going, sir?
How you doing, brother? You good?
I'm very well, very, very well. Welcome back to the show, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me yet again.
Yet again.
And we are live from my daughter's bedroom.
Oh, there we go. Excellent. I heard a rumor that you were busy building galaxies far, far away.
I had to cut short building a Star Wars town in the garden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I said I'll get back to them as soon as I've done.
Yeah, cool, excellent. Are they into the whole Mandalorian and Grogu stuff?
Yes, they are. Although they did lose a bit of excitement with season 3. They were like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
And my daughters are 7 and 12, so for them to say this is fallen off,
yeah. Well, I think the problem with The Mandalorian, before we digress already, the problem with The Mandalorian for me is that season 2, the end of, is a perfect finale. That's it. Job done.
Yeah. Job done.
There's nowhere to go now. We're done.
They could literally have finished it then. Yeah. If they were going to go into season 3, they should have just. We want to see Luke. We want to see Grogu. We want to see some training and stuff. You know, we want to see some sort of progression. And then they just said, "Nah, we're not going to do that."
And then the side part, the Mandalorian, in play for Bo-Katan, which I don't have necessarily a problem with because Katie Sackhoff was great, but you don't watch the Mandalorian to find somebody else, right? You don't buy a Spider-Man comic and expect Batman to turn up.
Exactly. So we didn't get what we ordered, and then we just said, you know what? I think I'm done now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it was a hard job. Anyway, enough about that.
We digress.
We digress. We're here to talk about your new book, Scarlet Couture, The Munich File #1, which has dropped today, the day of recording. I have been under my local Forbidden Planet. I've been like, can you get me this book, please? And they have kindly put my copy aside.
Lovely.
So I will be having a hard copy to go with the fantastic review that's over on Comic Crusaders. Des, tell me about Scarlet Couture then, the Munich File. What's changed from when we first saw Miss Carver?
Well, I hear it's changed.
Yeah. Is this because the first time I said she looked like Barbara Gordon? Is that what happens?
All right, yeah. You know what? How I got on to that? I just fancy a change. And do you know what? It was inspired by a friend of mine who is constantly just changing her hair color.
Cool.
It's just like, is there any sort of tactical reason? No.
Yeah.
Women like to change their hair color.
Yeah, well, okay.
I just fancied it. Sorry, there's no big, no
big secret.
Right. There is a secret. You're funny enough, we get around to doing the third, make her a brunette. So anyway. All right, anyway, going on to her. All right, so one of the major things I wanted to say about the whole Scarlet Couture world that I am building was that, most comic book villains, they're on a power trip. Like Lex Luthor, he pretty much wants to rule the world. He wants everything in his image and that sort of thing. And then, Bond villains, they want to destroy the world. My villain wants to own it.
Oh.
It's a bit of a different thing.
How very corporate.
Very corporate, yes. So his whole company, Class Bank, based on I can't remember the name of the damn bank now. IBBC, that were known as the most crooked bank on the planet. They were using their bank for all sorts of money laundering. They were financing revolutions. They were doing all that sort. I thought that's perfect because you know some of the stuff that's going on in the world right now.
Tell me about it. Yeah, it's bonkers.
Yeah.
Bonkers.
So I thought, the big corporations, the guys at the top, the ones that always seem to sneak through, those are the villains that she is trying to bring down. And you know, there's always this red tape and bureaucracy. Her agency is basically supposed to be just keeping tabs on them. Take photos, you know, record whatever, and then we'll bring it back to Interpol and we'll see what we do with it. But Scarlett's like, oh no, the guy's in front of me. He's doing the thing. I'm going to stop him.
Why not? That's why you're there.
Why not? But what she doesn't realize is that the people at the top were in bed with her people, and you know,
it's a bit of spy, love spy, hate spy stuff.
Yeah,
corporations that own the world. So I won't expect a Scarlet Couture Disney series, is what we're saying.
Nah, hell no. Exactly. You just knocked it on the head. So yeah, that's where I was going with, because you know, I watch so many YouTube videos, and you just see how many of these companies they take the piss and they just get away with murder, and nobody at the top is ever held accountable. But you know, in this book, she sort of deals with that. So yeah, unfortunately, the main character, the main villain, is her brother. So yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's, without further ado, let's check the action-packed trailer that we have. Thank you to Previews World for letting me borrow this. I say borrow, I mean just share. 2 seconds. Here we go. It is the trailer for the Munich Files.
3 years ago, there was a terrorist attack on Las Vegas. We managed to stop it, but we learned that it was all a cover, a plot to steal Layden. A computer program designed to override, access, and steal information from anyone's computer system. And I'm going to track it down. Who am I? I'm Scarlett Carver. To the public, I'm head of security for my mother's billion-dollar fashion empire, Chase Couture. In secret, Chase Couture is a cover for the Covert Investigations Group. We keep tabs on all the big guys, the untouchables, those who like to think they're above the law. If you think you can hide, my team will track you down and take you out in style.
Big shout out to Jordan Gwynn Colton for doing the voiceover there.
Yeah, sounds great. Am I right? Yeah, I'm sold. Yes, bring it on. Oh man, this is the sort of book that just kind of, to say it starts off running is a bit of a nom de plume. Absolutely, it is pacey beyond pace. Correct?
Yeah, it's just like in my eyes, you either start in the beginning of a Bond film or you know, Mission Impossible, where there's a massive action scene before it sort of calms down. Yeah. So that was the way I was just like approaching the whole thing.
It's interesting you bring up Mission Impossible because the hook of the story is Layden, an artificial intelligence program that can go into covert stuff and get programs and stuff like that. Which is kind of like the hook for the most recent Mission Impossible. I think, and I think that timing is everything. I think we need to let people know, Des, that you predate this Mission Impossible movie, right?
By how many years?
It's something like five, something like
years.
that. 2018, 5 years.
So Tom Cruise, you owe me some money, bro.
Good luck.
with him, you know what? It's funny with him, and you know the latest one. He did this before the whole AI thing kicked off. It was just released at the right time, and then everybody went, "Hold up!" Everybody's talking about AI and how bad it is, and then AI villain. Oh,
straight away. It's crazy, isn't it? We'll have a look at the book. I've got a preview copy of the book that was kindly sent to me. So let's have a look at the book. I'm not going to go into too many details of the book, to be honest, because I want people to go and buy the thing. So there you go.
Have a read.
Yeah. So this is the preview copy. As you can see, it's got the Titan Comics. What's it like working with Titan? Because they've been putting out some fantastic stuff recently.
They have not been mucking around.
They
have changed a lot since I first published the first Scarlet Couture book. Pretty much was one of the first books Titan Comics actually, published, because they were starting their Titan Comics wing. They always do Titan books and stuff, but under what's his name, Steve White,
right,
who approached me to do it, and and to see how they've handled this now, I couldn't ask for a better publisher. I've got to be honest, and I'm not just like floating the boat. They knocked out the double page spread and previews, and they were hitting up all these damn comic shops. And they were like, when I hit San Diego Comic Con, seeing like the big banner with your character there, and and Ricky Clayton, he's just the master, absolute master of marketing and stuff. So I was very chuffed.
Marketing's one thing, but quality of books. Look who they've got in the stable. They've got Gun Honey, that was a rip-roaring success for the last couple of years. The Conan book that's just started. What an absolute throwback is that book, right?
The Blade Runner stuff.
See, they're taking readers seriously.
Yes.
And giving out quality product.
Quality products, and the artists, and obviously like the cover artist that they got for me, I was just like, are you joking?
Yeah.
Wow. Dan the man.
Dan Panosian. Yeah. Ken Lashley. I had a conversation when I ran Forbidden this morning to get my copy. I was like, if you've got the cover C, I'll have the cover C. But any one of them is fine, to be honest. And they're like, right. I'd said Ken Lashley. I must have said his name a couple of times. And the girl answered, she was like, Dan. I'm like, no, Ken. She goes, oh, sorry, Dan. I was like, no, I'm Johnny. They're like, who's Dan? I was like, cover A, maybe?
Oh, my God.
She was great. So I don't know which one I've got, but here we go. So here we go. This is a cover A. This is the Dan Panosian.
Yeah.
Looks very sleek. Heavy lines. Which I didn't expect for one of your books. I'm not going to lie, because your books are kind of
true,
more...
because I'm usually more of an animated line. So when he knocked that out, I was like,
yeah.
And what he's done there with the lipstick in the middle, the bullets, I was like, he gets it.
Yeah. This is more your cup of tea, your style.
Yes.
You've got that animated look going on. I'll jump to a page where there's some action going on. How do you manage? Because you're the writer creator of this. Do you have a preference of which way you do it? Do you like do the writing first, then the art, or do you kind of go at the art and mix it all together?
It's actually a mishmash. I know already what I want. See the action scene? I knew already what I wanted in my head. And then I figure out what they're going to say afterwards.
All right, cool.
Right? And then, like, plot-wise, I have to have a plot down.
Yeah.
So I write down a massive plot, and there's some beats that I have to hit to make sure that there's a coherent story when it comes to the actual speech. And then I throw all the pages up and all the panels up in front of me on the screen, and then I look at them and I say, he would say this, she would say that, he would say this, she would say that. And then if there's anything that needs to be researched, like that scene you've got right there, and when they're talking about they're in Argentina, I had to use like Google search to do the satellite of where she was running, where they're going to be, how they can cut her off, all of that stuff. And I'm a big thing for that.
Cool.
So I need to know the names of the alleys and the points they were at and all that stuff. So
cool. It's, as you say, it starts at breakneck speed. They're running. I love the gags all the way through this. It's so funny. She's trying to run and she's like getting out of breath and so on and so. It works so well. I'm going to say that you are probably one of three people who use digital art so brilliantly. Now, when I say this and anyone's going to hurl abuse at me, yes, I know everybody uses digital art. I get it. But the three people I'm going to mention, of which you're one, you can clearly see it's digital. And there's no bones about that. So there's you, Art Germ.
Oh yeah.
Stefan Seach from the Sunstone stuff. So,
Okay.
what is it that you think you could make digital art look like regular pencils and regular colors? Why have you taken the kind of aesthetic that kind of really shows that it's digital?
Do you know what? Well, first things first, right?
Oh, that's meant as a compliment, by the way.
No. First things first, right? I make sure that every single one of those characters you see is hand drawn first. They're all hand drawn on paper, then scanned in, and then colored in Photoshop.
All right,
Same thing like the top panel you see there. There's like 1, 2, 3 different things going on there. So obviously there's character in the foreground, Scarlet's in the background, and then I draw the truck bit all around them. So that's another one, and then there's obviously the scene at the back.
Yeah.
So it's literally so you can get the depth of field and the feeling that they're actually in a vehicle.
So is it like layers on layers then?
Yeah. So basically layer upon layer upon layer.
Okay. Cool.
Right. There's have you heard of Cinema 4D?
I have.
Right, Cinema 4D with the models and stuff. So literally, I import models, and pretty much I paint digital paint over the model.
Cool.
So because it has to look like it fits in with the characters and have that whole animated feel. My whole thing I wanted, because what I mean, I ain't got the money to build a animated cartoon. I wanted the reader
not yet
reading an animated cartoon. That's literally it.
So yeah, it reads,
like the whole style.
It reads brilliantly like that, and this isn't your, I suppose, first. I mean, obviously, it's not your first rodeo. That's a given. But back a few years ago, was it Made Fire we talked about?
Yeah, Made Fire. Yeah,
that was kind of giving the book like a pseudo animation style.
Yes,
This is what animation it could look like.
Worked exactly. Yeah, it worked so well. Unfortunately, but that company went down. Yeah. And all the files are gone. But by some miracle, everybody's work is just gone. But by some miracle, I had an old tablet, and it still got them on.
Sweet.
But if I update the tablet, I'll lose it all. So I'm just like not updating. I've got to find some way to record them. Yeah.
Oh man, I can see
all the work. But the way I work just fitted spectacularly in with that because everything was in layers anyway. So I could just import the layers and make most of it. So
Perfect. Okay, cool. Excellent. We'll take a quick break for one of our other shows before we get talking about more fantastic art and Scarlet. I don't think I have a one that's really kind of your cup of tea at the moment. I don't think. Tell you what, this is kind of a relatively new show. You might not have seen this one. It is The Old Timers. He says, waiting for the button to work. There it is.
Do you want to find out what makes the professor do his happy dance? Check out the Old Timers Comic Book Show, only on the UCPN.
The Old Timers Comic Book Show, where the hosts aren't old, but the comics most certainly are. There you go. Comics of 25 plus years old feature on there. So if you like your nostalgia, that's the way to go for that. Excellent. All right, go on. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm part of that.
Yeah, excellent. Take part, be a fan. Join us one time. We can talk trash about some old comic books.
Oh, tell me about it, man.
The good thing about the show is because they're all comic books, we love them. There's never a bad comic on there. It's all great stuff. So
that's exactly my forte. Trust me.
Perfect.
I am a classic comic guy. I know the new guys, but the old guys, that's nothing.
There is no school like the old school. I will reserve you a place.
Do it,
please. Last time we spoke, or probably the first time we spoke, I asked you the question: who's your favorite character to draw, apart from Scarlet and her gang? And you mentioned Wonder Woman. because you liked all the stuff that goes with that.
Oh yeah.
Is that still the case? Are you still a?
Nah, it's Soups. Yeah. It's my own Superman T-shirt.
Oh, see, when you said Soups, I thought you meant Supergirl.
I might Supergirl, but nah, Superman. Whenever I'm sort of like warming up to do anything, because when you do some work that you need the motivation to do it. So I need a warm up, and I always draw Superman. Superman makes me feel good, so I draw Superman, and then I can get into doing whatever I'm doing.
So I hear what you're saying. I doodle. I like to doodle as a comic book fan, so I doodle stuff, right?
Yeah.
And someone will say to me, "Oh, can you draw me a Spider-Man picture?" I'm like, "Yeah. What do you want?" "Oh, can you have him swinging?" Yeah, I can do that. So I'll draw him swinging, and then I'm like, "Right, draw the buildings." I'm like, "Yeah, that's not going to happen."
Depends how much you paying.
Well, I've got a bottle of wine for it, so yeah. What can I say?
No, yeah. I'm pretty much the same. That's another thing. Because I've got to get out the technical pen.
Yeah.
The point of view and all that stuff, and then that's all the technical stuff. And I'm just like, right.
I just doodle. I like, let's see if this works. I'm awful. I am awful, but still, practice, I suppose.
Practice makes
perfect. So Superman's your guy at the minute, then, yes?
Yeah.
Cool. What is it about him that you like drawing? Oh, look at that. Old school Christopher Reeve. Good man.
I bought that the other day. That just came in from Brazil. Anyway, what do I like about him? Yeah, you know what I mean? Just he's a classic. He's number one. He's the number one superhero that, funny enough, everybody's suddenly getting interested in now. Do you know what I mean?
Don't you mean Batman's the number one hero?
No, man. Superman came first, bro. Superman afterwards. I love Batsy, but Superman is the one. And you know what? And I have argument with people when they say about, oh, he's boring, he's too powerful, blah, blah, blah. I love having arguments with people and proving them wrong.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I think Superman's not boring at all. I think the definition of Superman, very much like Captain Marvel for Marvel at the minute, is it's the cast of characters that are around him and her that keep them, those really powerful characters, grounded. Yeah, and I think that's the difference between, for me, Batman and Superman, is that Bruce Wayne's the mask and Batman's the character.
Yeah.
Who he is.
Yeah.
You take Clark Kent out of that Superman suit, and you take away his powers.
Yeah.
He would still run into a burning building because that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's the guy he is.
That's that.
I actually used that as an argument. Somebody that I met at Comic Con.
Cool.
He was saying he didn't like Superman. I was like, why don't you like Superman? Oh, because he's soft, he's this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. I goes, you know what? I'm going to tell you why you don't like Superman. You ain't going to like it. He goes, go on in. I said, you don't like Superman because you would never do half the things he does with his powers. If you had his powers, you wouldn't do. The reason why you hate Superman is because you hate yourself. Because you wouldn't, you wouldn't spend your time saving old ladies and pulling cats out of trees and stuff like that. You would think about yourself. You'd be using, your X-ray vision to be peeping on people, busting people, stealing banks. You'd be doing some crooked stuff. And the guy went, good deals. So the reason why you hate Superman because you hate yourself.
Oh dear. Getting back to Scarlet, and I suppose to an extent, the art style in the girls, there is a lot of pressure for how female characters are kind of portrayed in comic books right now. It's been kind of a movement for the last, 3-4 years, maybe longer. Why is it then? How is it then that you manage to draw your imagery, which has subtle sexiness to it? In cases when we talk to like the Batgirls and the Wonder Womans and stuff, and then I'm not going to say blatant, but the more overly sexual elements in Scarlet, for example, because that's the pastiche of James Bond, who in himself was a pastiche of something being. How is it that when I see a lot of conversation and stuff, how is it that you managed to kind of avoid that? Because some people could say,
how? Do you want to know how?
Yeah,
because I have a lot of female friends that, comment or give some inspiration or whatever. And my whole motto is when I'm drawing something, female or whatever, is to draw a woman how she would like to be depicted, not how a man wants to depict her. And that goes through my head. There's subtle sexiness, but there's not overtly. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm there.
Filth. It's not that. Do you know what I mean? There has to be class. So there has to be a class element. And the way my brain works with the whole sexiness thing, it has to be just nuance. It has to be so subtle that it just makes your heart flutter for that 1 second, and then
it's kind of like the bait and switch, isn't it? It's kind of like you're gonna get, and then you get a really classic look, and you're like, I'm still impressed.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got up here a couple. I picked this one because I don't see you draw Captain Marvel that much, especially.
I don't like Captain Marvel, do you?
I love Miss Marvel.
I like Miss Marvel. The classic ones.
The Carol Danvers Miss Marvel. But you've got MJ at the top. You've got Sue. Probably Storm at that point still. And then you've got the Black Widow there as well. These are all massive icons, and yet you give them a kind of retro feel, that
classic look, because classic beauties just they just do it.
Cool.
He's crying down the modern girls with all the fake eyelashes and stuff. Not saying he didn't put fake eyelashes in the 60s, but the way they carried themselves in 60s, 70s, it was just pure class.
Yeah, cool, excellent.
And fashion is obviously the big thing.
Yeah. Indeed. That's why things like Wonder Woman's outfit never goes out of fashion. It's a classic look. It's you can change it from pants to skirts and whatnot, but at the end of it, it's still the swimsuit costume, and that's the one that everyone recognizes. That's the one that everyone recognizes. Right. So when you think about Scarlet, this is a 5-issue miniseries, right?
Yes. Originally 4, but you had to stretch it out.
Yeah, no, it's fine. More pages.
Yeah, there you go.
More pages. Did the full 5 issues run on Made Fire?
No. Before they went down, we did. I think we managed to do 3. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So then issue 4, 5 will be all new.
You'll be all new. Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
And also, issue 3 of Scarlet introduces another one of my characters, Eva Strongbird, for the first time.
Let me just make a note.
Eva Strongbird and the Marine is the next project I am releasing with Disney director Rob Pratt.
I'm just Disney's like half an hour ago.
Oh. No. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
He's cool. Absolutely cool, and he gets it. He's like he likes the classic, the classic superhero, the pulp,
the Shadow
adventure sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And me and him just saw eye to eye. I'm just like, look, I've got a whole load of stuff. Ideas and characters and stuff, and he just looked at Eva Strongbird and Marine. He went, I want to do that.
Eva Strongbird. I'm going to have to Google and see if I can find Eva Strongbird.
So Scarlet's entire look in this, it is revealed in number 3 that she was originally inspired. Her name and stuff is inspired by Eva Strongbird.
All right. Okay. She's Eva's the Yoda. Got it.
Get it.
Get it. I don't have a question there. Fans of your work will have seen, I suppose they haven't been following Scarlet and they haven't been following your internet presence. Some of your fans will have been generated from the shows you've done on Sky when CW was massive.
Yeah.
Right. Don't hold your hand. I love that.
That was a long time ago.
I tell you, I'm old school. I remember this stuff. So Flash has recently ended in the UK. If the final show, the final series, it's done. Did you keep up with it all?
No. Straight up and down. Just no.
Nope, did not. I must admit, I dropped out of Flash about season 6, and then I caught up with it like one season, and I was like, I'll just watch the last one and see what happens. So
it was just literally just so much just come out, and you just get sidetracked.
Do you feel that superhero fatigue is a real thing?
Yes,
I'm feeling this.
So true. Anybody who says that is just lying. He's just, pretty much a consumer. Just wants to eat all the stuff. When I was watching, I took my girl to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a new one, which is absolutely amazing.
Is it really good?
Yeah, it's that good. Yeah. And they had an advert for Blue Beetle.
Oh right, yeah.
And you just sunk in your chair. You're just like, this looks like CW at best.
Yeah.
It looks like TV.
Yeah.
You know what has happened is that since Endgame and the snap, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of freaky because that kind of coincided. Like COVID came after.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that was kind of freaky. But since Endgame, it was like, okay, we've seen it all now, right? And now you're going on screen and all you're seeing is special effects, zoom in people, explosion, blah, blah, blah. And you're like now numb to it.
Agreed.
But when you see, I went and saw Mission Impossible, the new one, and you're stuck there. You're like, how the hell did they film that?
Yes.
And that's what's missing.
You've hit the nail on the head. We just recently saw Dial of Destiny, right? And I'm sat there watching this movie, and halfway through the movie, I say something to my wife that is unthinkable in our house. We can leave if you want to.
That's it all.
And when I sat back, she said, "Oh no, we're here now. We'll watch it." So I kind of persevered with it, and I miss the physical stunts.
Yeah,
and that's Mission Impossible. If Tom Cruise says, "You know what? I want to ride a bike off a cliff," he goes and rides a bike off a cliff.
Yeah.
If he wants to climb through a train carriage that's on its side, well, he'll go and do that as well. And you think to yourself, Indy Jones, and I get that Harrison Ford's an older bloke, I get that. Yeah. But even before that, you know full well that it's still going CGI all the way. And it just spoils the whole,
I haven't seen it because of this, right? And I don't think I will. All right.
I'm not missing anything.
I'm going to ask you something.
Fire away.
Are there any classic John Williams musical cues?
Yes.
In that?
Yes,
there is.
Yeah. There's the march is in there, and towards the end, there's a riff of
I'll take it back.
Love theme.
Are there any big musical cues before he does something adventurous? Crazy stunt.
No, not really. No, it's just like a pastiche, kind of like a homage bit.
I could think right now. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Brilliant.
The scene. He's on the white horse. He's on the hill, and then you just hear that run, dun, da 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 da. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
none of that. No.
For all of those films, and I just know that music's gonna come out.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that's lacking. It's just
by the numbers.
Music.
Yeah.
And they'll do something, and you're just dumb to it. You're just okay.
I think you've kind of hit something here, in that I never really thought about it till you mentioned it. I've been saying for ages that cinema's on its knees for one thing. A, you've got too many superhero movies, and B, why do I need to go to the cinema to watch a superhero thing when I can watch it on Disney?
Oh, Disney Plus.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I'm of an age when Star Wars came out, you had to actually wait 3 years, 4 years for the next one. There was nothing in between.
Event movie.
Yeah. But then you've just said something that got me thinking. You mentioned the special effects, how the Blue Beetle looks like a CW show. What that essentially means, what we're saying is that the TV networks have caught up with the cinema
Yeah.
And the cinema skills haven't actually moved on.
Yes, you are spot on, because you know what, I watched Superman and Lois on the plane, and I was like, special effects for this, so they're really good.
Yeah,
but I shouldn't be saying that, because you know TV special effects are supposed to be rubbish.
Yeah. We've seen Supergirl. We know how bad they can be. We've seen Supergirl,
which puts pressure now on what's his name, Mr. Gunn. So when he brings out his Superman movie, you have to believe a man could fly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everybody's just gonna just what? It's just the guy's he's lying down. It's his blue screen or green screen, and you've got to make us believe. He has to be spectacular.
It won't even be a guy there. It'll be an animated thing. It'll be CGI. It won't even be a person. And
don't even give me. I could go on for days about Superman.
My step. I love movies 1 through 3.
Yeah.
I drop off at 4. My stepson's partner, Holly, she loves Pedro Pascal. Right? She's been watching The Mandalorian like every episode. Oh, it's great, Pedro, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I haven't got the heart to tell her that he's only in the episodes where he takes his hat off.
Yeah.
Because the rest is just voiceover work. I could be the Mandalorian. I'm not, but I could be. Yeah.
It's a sad thing here. You know what? I'm going to go into another thing. That music scoring has changed dramatically. And I remember seeing there was this program with what's his name, Danny Elfman, and there's a few other top composers.
Hans Zimmer.
They were explaining why. Because before they used to be able to see the film.
Yeah.
And they could write the music that they needed to the film and stuff. Now they're getting the studio just saying, I just need something adventurous to go in this part. Can I see it? No, we don't want any leaks.
Yeah.
So we just need something adventurous that is going to last about 5 minutes, 11 seconds.
Yeah.
But you don't give me an idea. All right, so we'll let you know what happens. So he flies through here, and he goes, okay, but it would be better if I could see it.
Yeah. To get the beats.
No.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there and watching, you just listen to, it's just like, okay.
Yeah. I remember watching a John Williams thing where he was watching Star Wars and timing the music to the big things as the Star Destroyer comes over and the troopers march down the corridor, to get that sense of what's going to correlate to what's going on there. Peter in the Wolf style. Definitely. Thank God comic books don't have to deal with that then, eh?
Yeah, good. Shall we get on to that?
At least not now. Excellent. All right. So where can you find some information? Right. Here we go. If you want to keep up with everything that is Scarlett and Des Pop, check Instagram at Des Pop Art. There you go. Updates quite frequently. You are quite a bit of
I'm constantly Instagram.
Yeah, you're social media talent. It has to be said.
Yes, I am.
And if you want to find out about the book, you want to get a purchase in, you can't be bothered going down to your local comic book shop. Shame on you. Check out titancomics.com. The header page is bang on straight there.
If readers go to the back page, they're smart.
Okay.
You scan the QR code that's on the back page. You get to download some extra content.
I'm so glad I have got my physical copy waiting for me. Yes.
So those who want a bit of extra stuff, every issue is going to have something different. Also, you get a digital coin.
Okay.
That you'll be able to keep, and if you collect all 5 of them, you get the chance to meet me in a metaverse gallery. Yeah, we've got a metaverse gallery. So you don't need your, like the goggles or anything. You can just log on your computer and you can meet me in there. It does help if you've got the goggles.
Yes.
More of an interactive,
okay.
But you just meet me and then we can, chew the fat, talk about the series,
film scores.
Over, man. I'm telling you, Johnny, we could just go on for days.
We could. Well, there is always a seat open to you, sir. Anytime you want to chew the fat, you want to say something, just give me a call, and you are more than welcome. Welcome.
You know what? I'm going to hold you to that now.
Please do. All right, there you go. That's us done for another show. Des, thank you so much for taking so much time out of your really busy Star Wars schedule.
You can see it there.
Yeah, that's cool. Don't forget to check out the UCPM for all your favorite shows. You saw the trailer for it earlier. It is the Old Timers Comic Book Show. And if you still like Marvel Comics, good luck with that. Go and check out the No Prize podcast for everything that is Marvel. They even talk some Disney Plus, and they'll be waiting for the new Captain Marvel movie to drop. There you go. All done and dusted. Des, genuinely, you are one of my favorite people. You're one of my favorite guests. You know, love talking to you, man.
Thank you, man.
Love having you on the show. I've been your host, Johnny Machine Hughes. And as always, adios.
Peace in the Middle East.
Visit undercovercapes.com for the latest and greatest podcasts via the Undercover Capes Podcast Network. Also visit our parent company website, comiccrusaders.shop, all about comic pop culture.